All right. Well, again, kind of another open segment here, Brandon. We won't go on for half an hour this time, but I think this is a conversation that's really, I guess, ever since 2012 when the Xfinity Series and the Nationwide Series came to the Indianapolis Oval for the first time. Again, knowing how highly we hold IMS in our regards here, do you think you can justify Xfinity Series cars joining the Cup Series on the Brickyard 400 weekend, or would you still rather see, despite the great racing, the great finish that we saw, do you think they should still be down the road at Indianapolis Raceway Park?
It was great, but I think the Xfinity Series has a lot more leeway to be able to experiment with going over to IRP, and I think they should take that opportunity and team up there with the Truck Series and make it a Truck Xfinity kind of weekend for fans just 7 miles west of Speedway. I think they can go back to that and put on a really good show. I'd love to see Xfinity cars once again on a really small place, like stupid small, and it's in the best way because it gives you no room to move. These are big beefy cars, and we'll get to it with the Truck Series race. I love trucks at IRP. I've enjoyed it since we've started going there again. There's just something about these big wide vehicles that aren't supposed to be at a place that small, and it makes for some good racing where the groove is on the outside. I think the Xfinity cars would make a great move to experiment going back there. As enjoyable as it was to see him at Indianapolis, it would be nice to go back. That's one thing. That's one thing you can't say about the Cup Series with them trying to make it to maintain its crown jewel status. You don't have room to experiment right now because you made this big move, but Xfinity certainly could.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that again, I felt somebody in a group chat I'm in that felt a similar way after Atlanta. Like, it was great to see that three wide finish, but still not a fan of this in principle. Not a fan of this package and this style of racing, and I would not want to turn every mile and a half into trying to produce this every week. Yeah, I think we tried that to an extent in 2019. Obviously, it didn't work out very well.
I don't want to go back there, Ben.
Yeah, I don't think
Please don't.
anybody does. So in a similar, not an apples to apples comparison, but right here, I don't think that what we saw on Saturday, as great as it was, I don't think that changes my mind. I still think Xfinity should be at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and let again talk about treating the Speedway with the amount of respect that it commands. Send your best to the Brickyard 400 weekend. That would be the NASCAR Cup Series. With all due respect to all the young drivers and all the independents in the Xfinity Series, and I know that it must be an incredibly special feeling and great honor to be racing at the Indianapolis Oval. Probably would be better for the series and better for the Speedway, if we're being honest, if they were at IRP.
Yeah, it would give the exclusivity to the Cup race there, but
Sure.
I'm sure that there's a whole rabbit hole there. You're probably going into the ticket package deals and all the sorts of things that IMS probably wants to do, and having Xfinity as a part of that is probably really good for them.
Yeah.
But I won't go there.
Yeah. Well, but then again, maybe this could be considered hypocritical, because I know you and I have been banging the Save the Freedom 100 drum.
Yep, there's that too. Yep.
Yeah, we want Indy next at the Indianapolis Oval. But I guess the counter to that would be that's IndyCar's home. NASCAR is a guest of the Speedway, and they should send their best. I don't know that that's an apples to apples comparison either, but it is interesting to think about. If only one second tier series could be there, I'd much rather see Indy Next cars running the Freedom 100 than NASCAR Xfinity Series cars running a 250-mile race the day before the Brickyard 400.
Yeah, like we talked about with Jackson last week about having to switch to an aero screen or something like that, or a new version of the Indy Next this design in order to even do that might be a part of that too, the safety factor.